So the lesson is about paragraph structure. So what we mean by paragraph structure is the way a writer would arrange sentences in a paragraph. So this is important both for reading and writing. So in your reading passages, or also in your writings, when you are writing essays and all, you write things in separate paragraphs. And in each paragraph, there's a way that you arrange the sentences. So in this lesson, we are going to discuss this. There are several things that we have to discuss under paragraph structure. One of the things is paragraph unity. What we mean by paragraph unity is every paragraph should be about only one topic. For example, if you are writing an essay about environmental pollution, so you will organize information under several paragraphs. In the first paragraph, you can give an introduction to environmental pollution. And when you move on to the second paragraph, in the second paragraph, you can describe the reasons for environmental pollution or the causes of environmental pollution. So then all the sentences in that paragraph will be about reasons for environmental pollution. And in the third sentence, you can write about effects of environmental pollution, results of environmental pollution. And when you move on to the next paragraph, you can describe ways of minimizing environmental pollution, ways of reducing environmental pollution. That way, for each paragraph, there is only one topic. So it's like subtopic. Under the main topic, environmental pollution, one topic would be introduction, one topic would be reasons for environmental pollution. So that way. In addition to that, every sentence in the paragraph should also be relevant to the topic. You cannot include irrelevant information. For example, in the paragraph about reasons for environmental pollution, you cannot include results of environmental pollution and vice versa. So that way, every sentence in the paragraph should be relevant to the subtopic of the paragraph. So we'll see examples of this. The first paragraph. There are two main reasons why I have decided to attend Binghamton University next year. Applying to a college is a terribly complicated process. Some of my friends choose colleges for very bad reasons. John has never been to college. I met his grandfather and he still has an incredibly sharp mind for a man of his age. Susan chose a university because the food in the region was said to be quite good. Susan should criticize her. Actually, I think it was her father who made the choice for her. So then when you read this paragraph, Do you think that this paragraph has unity? Read the sentence, read the paragraph, read the sentences in the paragraph and tell me whether this paragraph has unity. The sentences in the paragraph, are they relevant to the topic? Normally, the first sentence gives the topic sentence. There are two main reasons why I have decided to attend Bingston University next year. So then when you read through the other sentences, are they relevant to the topic? What can you say? Are these sentences relevant to the topic?
Sir, the given information are not relevant.
Yeah, that's right. Now, because in the first sentence, the person say two main reasons why I have decided to attend Bingston University. But in the sentences, in the supporting sentences, the person doesn't give those reasons. So this paragraph lacks unity because the paragraph is supposed to be about the writer's two main reasons for choosing Bingston University. However, he never actually tells us the reasons. He doesn't give any reasons. He writes about many unrelated things. His friend John, John's grandfather, his friend Susan, Susan's lack of relevant information. He only gives irrelevant information. So then this is not a good piece of writing. So then you should not write things like this. So we can compare this with the next one. Can somebody read the second paragraph aloud?
Sir, may I?
Yes, Rowan.
There are two main reasons why I have decided to attend Bingston University next year. First of all, there is the question of money. Bingston tuition is reasonable, and I don't even have to pay it all at once. This is important since my father is not a rich man. With Bingston's deferred payment plan, my father will be able to pay my tuition without too much difficulty. The second reason is the fine education which I feel I will receive there in agriculture, my chosen field. It is a well known fact that Bingston hires only the finest professors in its agriculture department. Moreover, the university requires all agricultural students to gain practical experience by working on farms in the area while they are still going to school. There are the major reasons I'm going to Bingston next year.
Right. Thank you, Ruan. Okay. Now, when we compare this with the first paragraph, we see that here we can see unity. The first sentence is the same. There are two main reasons why I have decided to attend Bingston University next year. And then the writer gives those reasons, those two reasons. First reason is, first of all, there is the question of money. Bingston's tuition is reasonable and I don't even have to pay it all at once. Kind of financial consideration. So that is one reason. And the second reason is the fine education which I feel I will receive in agriculture. My chosen field. And when you look at the other sentences also, they are also relevant to the topic. Topic is reasons. Reasons for choosing Bingston University. So that way, in each sentence here, we can see that they are all relevant to the topic. And they have been organized in a particular structure. So we'll have a look at that structure. The structure or outline of the paragraph. First sentence is the topic sentence. The topic sentence says that there are two reasons for choosing Bingston University. And the other sentences are supporting sentences. In the supporting sentences, the person gives the two reasons. One is financial considerations, and the other one is quality of education. And for each of these reasons, the person also gives some supporting information. Under financial consideration, the person gives two facts. One is reasonable tuition. The charges are reasonable, fair, not high. Second one is deferred payment. That means installment scheme. Students can pay in install. And then the second reason for selecting the college is quality of education. Under that too, the person gives two facts. One is quality teachers, fine teachers. Second one is they are getting practical experience. And finally, the person concludes, the final sentence is the concluding sentence. Usually the concluding sentence is a little similar to the first sentence. First sentence, there are two main reasons why I have decided to attend Bingston University next year. The last sentence says, these are the major reasons I am going to Bingston next year. Okay, so that way, each sentence we are using in the paragraph should be relevant. And also, they have a kind of topic, a purpose. So the purpose of the first sentence is, or the topic of the first sentence is the topic sentence. So it gives what the paragraph is about. And sentence 2 gives major support. It gives the first reason. The person says that there are 2 reasons. And second sentence says one of those reasons, the question of money. And then sentence number 3 and 4 give minor support. That means these sentences explain the first reason with more detail. So like when we say financial considerations or the issue of money, so like something like explanations of that that is given, reasonable tuition, deferred payment scheme, that way. And then sentence number 5 give the other major support, the second reason for selecting the university. And then 6 and 7 again give minor support, explaining the second reason with more detail, quality teachers, practical experience, so that way. And finally, the concluding sentence. So this is the usual structure of an English paragraph. So there can be, so like there can be more sentences, less sentences, and depending on the type, there can be minor changes. But usually, writers follow a particular structure like that. And especially, we should know that writers use every sentence with a particular purpose. The writers do not use irrelevant information in a paragraph. Therefore, we should be able to read and understand the topic of each and every sentence in a paragraph. So then in our previous lessons also, sometimes we tried this in our lessons about graphs and charts and all. In the first activity today, also we will see this. The purpose of, or the topic of each sentence in a paragraph. So we are going to do this with an activity from the last lesson. The last question here. Look at the 4 squares that indicate where the following sentence can be added to the passage. Where would the sentence best fit? So the sentence is, yet these cities are also the location of increasing poverty, disease, and pollution. So then we have to insert this sentence into the passage. Four places have been marked as options. This is place 4. The first 3 are here. Position 1 is after the first sentence in the second paragraph. Position 2 is after the third sentence in the second paragraph. Position 3 is after the last sentence in the second paragraph. And position 4 is after the first sentence in the last paragraph. So then to decide this, we need to see what each of these sentences do, the topic, the kind of information given in each of these sentences. Before that, can somebody read this paragraph aloud? Any volunteer?
So may I read the
Yes.
paragraph?
Shravan.
The rapid growth of these cities is a reflection of the considerable economic growth in these newly developing economies. The absence of infrastructure such as roads and water supply in many cities leads to a lower quality of life for their citizens. In many cities, it has resulted in the emergence of large-scale slums and shanty towns. Furthermore, energy, food, goods, and other resources by urban populations is which in turn exacerbates the migration of
Right. Thank you, Ruvani. Okay. Right. The first sentence here says the rapid growth of these cities is a reflection of the considerable economic growth in these newly developing economies. So that is the first sentence. And usually the first sentence is the kind of topic sentence. And the second sentence says the absence of infrastructure such as roads and water supply in many cities leads to a lower quality of life for their citizens. So then we should decide the topic of this sentence. So we know the overall topic of the passage is effects of population growth. So especially about urban population. The passage is about urbanization. And in our paragraph, in the particular sentence, we should know what the topic is. In other words, what does this sentence tell about urbanization? The absence of infrastructure, such as roads and water supply in many cities, leads to a lower quality of life for their citizens. So what is the kind of information given about urbanization in this sentence? Or what is the purpose of using this sentence? What does the writer tell about urbanization in this sentence? Does the sentence give something good about urbanization, or does it give something bad about urbanization? Read the sentence and tell me.
It gives the negative side of the urbanization.
That's right. So it says something that like a lower quality of life for their citizens. So that is actually a negative effect. It's a negative effect of organization. That is the purpose of this sentence, to give a negative effect of urbanization. Then the next sentence, the third one, in many cities, it has resulted in the emergence of large-scale slums and shanty towns. In many cities, it has resulted in the emergence of large-scale slums and shanty towns. What about this sentence? What does that tell about urbanization? Is it something similar to the second sentence or is it different? Does it give a positive effect of?
It gives more information. Even about the bad side of the urbanization.
That's right. This also gives some more information about bad side. Again, a negative effect. One negative effect is a lower quality of life for their citizens. This sentence gives, again, a negative effect, the emergence of large-scale slums and shanty towns, something a little bit similar to the previous one. This also gives a negative effect. And the last sentence, furthermore, the impact of ever increasing demand for energy, food, goods, and other resources by urban populations is causing degradation of the surrounding environment, which in turn exacerbates the migration of rural populations. So what about this one? Causing degradation of the surrounding environment. What does that tell about urbanization? Is it something positive or negative? Furthermore, the impact of ever increasing demand for energy, food, goods, and other resources by urban population is causing degradation of the surrounding environment, which in turn exacerbates the migration of rural population.
Negative, sir.
Yeah, that's right. So this also gives a negative effect of urbanizations. So මේ වාක්‍යයේ second, third, and fourth, all these sentences give negative effects of urbanization. නාගරීකරණයේ අහිතකර බලපෑම්. What about the first one? The rapid growth of these cities is a reflection of the considerable economic growth in these newly developing economies. What does that give? Something positive or something negative? The rapid growth of these cities is a reflection of the considerable economic growth in these newly developing economies. What it says is something like these cities are growing because their economies are growing. The economies of the countries are growing. Is it something good about urbanization or is it something bad about urbanization? considerable economic growth in these newly developing economies. Just wait for a moment. Okay. So then the first sentence in this paragraph is a little different from the other sentences. The second one, third one, and the fourth one, they give negative effects of urbanization, but the first one gives a kind of positive idea about urbanization. The rapid growth of these cities is a reflection of the considerable economic growth in these newly developing economies. What the sentence means is that these cities are growing because the economies are growing. So it's not about positive effect of urbanization, but something positive about urbanization. So like cities are growing because the economies are growing. So the reasons for the growth of the cities. And then in the last paragraph, the first sentence says, on the other hand, urbanization can also have a positive impact. So then as you see here, so this is the topic sentence. The topic sentence says, so the word positive is there. So this is about positive impact, the positive effects. And the second one says countries with highly urbanized populations tend to have a generally higher standard of living and their economies are more stable. What does that say about urbanization? A positive effect or a negative effect? Positive or negative?
Positive impact.
Yeah, so this gives a positive impact, higher standard of living. So when we compare this with the previous one, here the writer says a lower quality of life. But now the writer says higher standard of living and the economies are more stable. So it's a positive effect. Cities can deliver education, healthcare, and other services more efficiently than rural areas because of the advantages of scale and proximity. So then you see this one also gives a positive effect, more efficient, like the cities can deliver the services more efficiently. And the next sentence also says in both developed and developing countries, cities generate the most wealth and provide extensive opportunities for employment and investment. So that also gives positive effects of urbanization. Cities generate more wealth, so there is money in cities and also more opportunities for employment and investment. So that way, overall, the last paragraph here describes positive effects of urbanization, and the second paragraph describes negative effects of urbanization. The first sentence is a little different. It's um, uh, a little bit different one, kind of uh, maybe something like a transition. So then we'll look at the given sentence. So this says, yet these cities are also the location of increasing poverty, disease, and pollution. So this is what we have to insert into the passage. So then what does this sentence tell about urbanization? Does it give something positive or something negative? These cities are also the location of increasing poverty, disease, and pollution.
It highlights the negative.
Yeah. So the sentence that we have to insert also gives negative impacts of urbanization, negative effects of urbanization. And here, you also have to pay your attention to the first word here. This is a discourse marker, a connective. Grammatically, this is a conjunction. When we look at sentence structure, this discourse markers are also important. You have to check their meanings as well. So like, in order to have the flow in a paragraph, correct organization in the paragraph, writers also use this kind of cohesive devices. Here, the discourse marker used is yet, which is a conjunction. What does yet mean? What is the meaning of yet? Yet, these cities are also the location of increasing poverty, disease, and pollution. What does yet mean? Yet, these cities are also the location of increasing poverty, disease, and pollution. What does yet mean? Check in a dictionary and tell me. What does yet mean? What does yet mean? Why et yet?
Still.
Yeah, so that is one meaning of yet. So that is actually when yet is used as an adverb. Yet is sometimes an adverb. So it can be used to modify an action, modify a verb, especially regarding time. So like, so we can say something like A-level results have not been released yet. So that is about the action. So there, it is an adverb. But here, yet is not an adverb. Here, yet is used as the conjunction. This is the connective. So like knowing the meaning of the connective is really important in order to insert this into the passage. What is the meaning of yet as a conjunction?
At the same time,
Uh-huh. I think so. Like we have already given this conjunction in some of our previous lessons. So like in several lessons actually, especially in the uh, lesson about comparison and contrast. Mhm.
sir, can't we use at the same time?
Uh, so like I think the meaning there is a little different. So this is both an adverb and a conjunction. So like as an adverb, yet means up until the present or a specified time. So like as a conjunction, the meaning is given. So like, but at the same time, not only at the same time, but at the same time. So but nevertheless, so like in a kind of complicated way, the meaning is given there. It's in some other dictionary. Um, so like here it is given also with the use. So as a conjunction, it means despite that. Used to add something that seems surprising because of what you have just said. Okay, so we'll go for synonyms. Okay, so as a conjunction, the meaning of yet is nevertheless. Mhm. Notwithstanding, however, so something like that. So what is um, So this is the use. You can use yet to introduce a fact which is rather surprising after the previous fact you have just mentioned. I don't eat much, yet I am a size of 16. So like, that's not the kind of result you expect. So synonyms of that are nevertheless, however, so still is also given. So in short, what we can say is so the conjunction yet is something like however, and usually we say this type of conjunctions are but type conjunctions. The meaning of yet is a little similar to but. And grammatically also it is a coordinating conjunction, and a clause beginning with yet is used in contrast to what is said in the previous clause. In other words, what we say in this sentence beginning with yet is different from what is said in the previous sentence or previous clause. So then for that reason, now we all know that what this sentence says is these cities are also the location of increasing poverty, disease, and pollution. So this gives negative effects of urbanization. මේකෙන් දෙන්නේ නාගරිකකරණයේ අහිතකර බලපෑම්. दारिद्रතාවය, රෝග, so this kind of things. Hello, good evening. So then, because this sentence gives a negative effects of urbanization, and the writer has used the conjunction yet here. So like this is introduced as something surprising as opposed to what is said earlier. That means what is said earlier, the previous sentence, the sentence before this should give something different from this sentence. So like, in other words, because this sentence gives a negative effect of urbanization, the sentence before that should give normally something positive about urbanization. Then only this becomes surprising. අපි මේ yet කියන එක කියනකොට කියන්නේ කලින් කියපු කාරණය එක බලපුවාම දැන් කියන කාරණය නිකන් පුදුමයි වගේ. කියන්නේ අපි අපේක්ෂා නොකරන ප්‍රතිඵලයක් කියනකොට තමයි ඔය however, yet, but ඒ වගේ දේවල් අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. So in Sinhala we say something like අපි කියන්නේ ඒත් කියලා. එහෙම වුණත්. නමුත්. So ඒ වගේ දෙයක් කියන්නේ ඊට කලින් කියපු කාරණයට වඩා වෙනස් දෙයක් කියනකොට. Therefore, when we are inserting this sentence into the passage, the sentence before this should give something positive about urbanization. Because this sentence gives something negative about urbanization. So that information is also important when we are inserting this into the passage. So there are 4 positions. Position 4 is after the first sentence in the last paragraph. And the other 3 positions are in the second paragraph. Position 1 is after the first sentence. Position 2 is after the third sentence. Position 3 is after the fourth sentence. That means at the end of the second paragraph. So which one is the best place to insert the sentence? 1, 2, 3, or 4? So you remember this sentence gives a negative effect. This sentence also gives a negative effect. This sentence also gives a negative effect. And the first one is something positive. And the next paragraph is overall about positive impacts of urbanization. Which one is the best place to insert this sentence? Can we insert it here at position 3? At the end of this paragraph? After the last sentence, furthermore, the impact of ever increasing demand for energy, food, goods, and other resources by urban populations is causing degradation of the surrounding environment, which in turn exacerbates the migration of rural populations. Can we insert the sentence after this? So our sentence is, yet these cities are also the location of increasing poverty, increasing poverty, disease, and pollution. Yet these cities are also the location of increasing poverty, disease, and pollution. Can we insert the sentence at position 3 here? So the sentence gives a negative impact of urbanization, and it begins with the conjunction yet. Can we insert it at position 3? Yes or no? So the sentence begins with the conjunction yet, which is a but type conjunction. ඒත් කියලා තමයි පටන් ගන්න මේක. ඒත් නමුත් එසේ වුවත්. What do you think? Can we insert this at position 3? Yes or no?
No.
Yeah, we can't insert it here because when you are beginning a sentence or when you are beginning a clause with yet, so the previous clause should give some information different from what the present clause gives. So like, because this sentence gives a negative effect of urbanization, the previous sentence should give a positive effect of urbanization. Therefore, you cannot insert it here because this sentence also gives a negative effect. Okay, so position 3 is out. What about position 2? Can we insert it in position 2 after the sentence? In many cities, it has resulted in the emergence of large-scale slums and shanty towns. Can we insert it there? Position 2.
No, sir.
No, here too, the third sentence gives a negative effect. Therefore, you can't insert it here because the conjunction is yet. What about position 1? Can we insert it here after the first sentence? The first sentence says the rapid growth of these cities is a reflection of the considerable economic growth in these newly developing economies. Can we insert the sentence in position 1, the sentence beginning with yet? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, here we can insert it because like sentence 1 gives something positive about urbanization. පළවෙනි වාක්‍ය කියන්නේ මේ නගරවල ශීඝ්‍ර වර්ධනයෙන් පෙනෙන්නේ ඒ ආර්ථිකයන් වල සැලකිය යුතු වර්ධනයක්. There's something positive about urbanization. Therefore, this sentence beginning with yet, we can insert here because this sentence gives something negative about urbanization. Yet, these cities are also the location for increasing poverty, disease, and pollution. There's one more place. Place number 4. After the first sentence in the last paragraph. On the other hand, urbanization can also have a positive impact. Can we insert the sentence beginning with yet in position 4? In the last paragraph. Yes or no? can we insert the sentence beginning with yet here in position 4? Tell me, what do you think? මේ yet කියලා පටන් ගන්න වාක්‍ය මෙතෙන්ට දාන්න පුළුවන්ද බැද? ඒත් එහෙම නැත්නම් නමුත් කියලා පටන් ගන්න වාක්‍යයක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ yet. Yet these cities are also the location of increasing poverty, disease and pollution. Can we insert it here or not? Position 4 in the last paragraph.
No, sir.
Answer.
Why, Charindi?
Because it begins yet.
So like this gives a negative impact. So like the sentence like increasing poverty may වැඩි වෙන දරිද්‍රතාවය, රෝග වැඩි වෙනවා, පරිසර දූෂණය වැඩි වෙනවා වගේ ඒ කියන කාරණා නෙගටිව් ඒවානේ නාගරිකයන් නගරවල තියෙන ඍණාත්මක ඒවා. එතකොට දැන් මේකේ first sentence එකේ කියන්නේ on the other hand urbanization can also have a positive impact. ධනාත්මක බලපෑමකුත් එන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඒ කලින් sentence එක positive idea එකක් කියන නිසා අපි ඒ sentence එක විතරක් consider කරනවා නම්, if you only consider that sentence, of course we can insert it here because this one gives a positive impact, this sentence gives a negative impact, therefore use of the conjunction yet is right. අදහස කලින් කියපු එකට විරුද්ධ විදිය අදහසක් වෙනස් විරුද්ධ විදිය අදහසක් දෙනකොට තමයි yet කියන එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. අපි මේක විතරක් consider කරනවා නම් මේ වාක්‍ය මෙතෙන්ට දාන්න පුළුවන්. But you have to consider the other sentences as well. Most of the other sentences in this paragraph gives positive effects of urbanization. Second sentence, third sentence, fourth sentence. Of course, the last sentence is the summary, so it gives both sides. So for this reason, when we consider the other sentences, overall, this sentence gives positive effect of urbanization, this paragraph. Paragraph 2 gives negative effects of urbanization. Overall, පොදුවේ ගත්තොත් වැඩිපුරම වාක්‍ය සංඛ්‍යාවක් මේ paragraph 2 වල ඍණාත්මක බලපෑම්, අහිතකර බලපෑම් ගැන තමයි කියන්නේ, නාගරිකකරණයේ අහිතකර බලපෑම්. Last paragraph එකේ කියන්නේ නාගරිකකරණයේ ධනාත්මක බලපෑම්. That is why we cannot include මේ පළවෙනි so like අපි conjunction එක විතරක් සලකුවොත් මෙතෙන්ට මේක දාන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් overall අපි මුළු sentence එකම සලකපුවාම මෙතෙන්ට මේක දාන්න බෑ. මොකද මේ paragraph එකේ positive effects තමයි කියන්නේ. කලින් paragraph එකේ තමයි negative effects කියන්නේ. So then the best place to insert the sentence is 1. Okay. The first sentence here is a little confusing, because normally in a kind of paragraphs written according to a particular formula, the writers wouldn't use a sentence like this, because the introductory sentence is the topic sentence. අපි පළවෙනි sentence එකෙන්ම කියන්න ඕනේ මේ නාගරිකරණයේ ඍණාත්මක බලපෑම් ඇත කියලා වගේ එකක් කියන්න ඕනේ. නමුත් මේකෙදි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ පළවෙනි වාක්‍ය පොඩක් වෙනස් විදිහෙන් කියලා ඊට පස්සේ transition එක විදිහට තමයි දැන් අපි මේ sentence එක insert කරන්නේ. Yet මේකේ ඍණාත්මක බලපෑමුත් අහිතකර බලපෑමුත් තියෙනවා කියලා ඒවා ටික විස්තර කරන එක තමයි මේක කියලා තියෙන්නේ. This is because this is a small passage. The writer uses only 3 paragraphs. The first sentence is the introduction. First paragraph is the introduction. This idea also the writer wants to give in the second sentence. So then this way, like to do this kind of an activity, you should read and understand the topic of each and every sentence, what each sentence do. And also the knowledge about these connectors are also important. Okay, so the answer for this is 1 then. Position 1. So we look at the next questions now. First one, I think we've did this one in the previous day as well. The word it in the passage refers to 4 answer options: water supply, economic growth, lower quality of life, absence of infrastructure. Do you remember the correct answer? In many cities, it has resulted in the emergence of large-scale slums and shanty towns. What does it refer to here? I think we discussed the answer last week. Water supply, economic growth, lower quality of life, absence of infrastructure. Anybody who remembers the answer?
Absence of infrastructure.
That's right. Absence of infrastructure is the answer. That is the subject of the previous sentence as well. It means absence of infrastructure. And the second one is about the word massive. Cities in these countries are rapidly transforming into mega cities. Massive conurbations of more than 20 million people. The word massive in the passage is closest in meaning to complex, wealthy, huge, expensive.
Huge.
Yeah, massive means huge, very big cities, very big joint cities. Okay. Question 1, the answer is absence of infrastructure. Question 2, the answer is huge. Third question. Which of the sentences below best expresses the essential information in the highlighted sentence in the passage? Incorrect choices change the meaning in important ways or leave out essential information. I think this sentence also we discussed last time. I explained you the sentence with examples and all. The sentence says, the underline one here. Furthermore, the impact of ever increasing demand for energy, food, goods, and other resources by urban population is causing degradation of the surrounding environment, which in turn exacerbates the migration of rural populations. Okay, this is the sentence. So last time we discussed a little about this sentence with examples. So like, I think I took the example of what happens when Anuradhapura city is growing. So what happens to small cities like Mihintale, Rambawa, Galkulama, Thalawa, and all. So that's what this sentence says. Furthermore, the impact of ever increasing demand for energy, food, goods, and other resources by urban population is causing degradation of the surrounding environment, which in turn exacerbates the migration of rural populations. First answer option, the urban population needs food, but people are not able to afford it. The urban population needs food, but people are not able to afford it. Is this right? It is right about the underlying sentence. Or which one is the most suitable answer? First one says the urban population needs food, but people are not able to afford it. Second one says people are moving to the cities because there are more resources there. Third one says people are moving to the countryside because there are not enough resources in the cities. Fourth one says more people are moving to the city because demand for resources is destroying rural areas. Which one is the correct answer? So the first answer option says here, the urban population needs food, but people are not able to afford it. The urban population needs food. Nagarika janagahaneta ahara avashyai. So does this sentence tell something like that? Furthermore, the impact of ever increasing demand for energy, food, goods, and other resources by urban population, so on and so forth. මේ වාක්‍යයේ නාගරික ජනගහනයට ආහාර අවශ්‍යයි කියලා කියනවද නැද්ද? Does this sentence say that urban populations need food? Yes or no? නාගරික ජනගහනයට ආහාර අවශ්‍යයි කියලා මේ වාක්‍ය කියවෙනවද නැද්ද? The underlying sentence here. Yes or no? Read the sentence and tell me. Does this sentence say something like the urban populations need food? So this sentence begins like, furthermore, the impact of ever increasing demand for energy, food, goods, and other resources by urban population. නාගරික ජනගහනයට ආහාර අවශ්‍යයි කියලා මේ වාක්‍ය කියවෙනවද නැද්ද නාගරික ජනතාවට? Tell me what you feel, what do you think?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it says like ever increasing demand for energy, food. So that is said here. But the sentence has a second part as well. The urban population needs food, but people are not able to afford it. That means it's not kind of affordable. If people can't get that. නාගරික ජනතාවට ආහාර අවශ්‍යයි. නමුත් ඔවුන්ට එය ලබාගත නොහැකි කියලා. They are not able to afford it. ඔවුන්ට එය ලබාගත නොහැකි කියලා මේ වාක්‍ය කියවෙනවද නැද්ද?
No, sir.
No, it doesn't say anything like that. Therefore, the first one is not a correct answer. The first part of the statement is right, but the second part is not right. So that way, we have to consider the entire sentence. Because the second part is wrong here, the entire sentence is wrong. So we'll go from the last one. The last sentence says here, more people are moving to the city because demand for resources is destroying rural areas. More people are moving to the city because demand for resources is destroying rural areas. More people are moving to the city because demand for resources is destroying rural areas. වැඩි වැඩියෙන් පුජ්‍යලයෝ නගරයට සංක්‍රමණය වෙනවා. මේ සම්පත් වලට තියෙන ඉල්ලුම නිසා ග්‍රාමීය ප්‍රදේශ වලට හානි වන නිසා. So does this sentence tell something like that? නගරේ සම්පත් වලට තියෙන ඉල්ලුම නිසා ග්‍රාමීය ප්‍රදේශ වල ගුණාත්මය පහළ යන නිසා හානි වන නිසා වැඩි වැඩියෙන් පුජ්‍යලයෝ නගරයට සංක්‍රමණය වෙනවා. ඒ වගේ කාරණයක් මේ වාක්‍ය කියනවාද නැද්ද? Yes or no? I think I explained this to you with examples and all. So it's a kind of a causal chain. Then නගරෙන් ගමේ තියෙන සම්පත් ටික ඇදලා ගන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඉල්ලුම වැඩි. නිසා ගමේ තියෙන සම්පත් ටික ඇදලා ගන්නවා. එතකොට ගමේ සම්පත් නැති වෙනවා. ගමේ ක්වොලිටි එක බහිනවා. ඒ නිසා ගමේ ඉන්න අය ටිකත් නගරෙට එනවා. So does this sentence tell something like that? Furthermore, the impact of ever increasing demand for energy, food, goods, and other resources by urban population is causing degradation of the surrounding environment, which in turn exacerbates the migration of rural population. Okay, so this is exactly what is said in this sentence, or like last time also I explained this to you with examples. So then this one is the correct answer option here. So like in every country, this happens with urbanization. So like I explained this to you with examples about these schools in Anuradhapura City Central College, and also like, so then what happens to the schools in the rural areas, Rambaya, and also like this, what happens? මෙහෙට තියෙන හොඳ සම්පත් ටික ඇදලා ගත්තට පස්සේ ඒ පැතිවල ඉන්න කට්ටියත් එහි ඉන්න කැමති වෙන්නේ නැහැ. So this is a kind of common phenomena, like in any country this happens. So that's the answer there. Question number 4, I'll give you the answer here. The answer is first one. Advantages of scale and proximity. So that's about cities. In cities, services can be delivered in large scale. So this is why actually like this service providers like teachers, doctors, and all, they will come to the cities, because in cities you can do it in large scale. So like if you start a tuition in a village, you can get only 10 students, 15 students and all. But if you do that in a city, like if you are clever enough, so then you can get 50 students, 100 students, 200, 2000, whatever the big amounts. You can do things in large scale. Other advantage is proximity. That means everything is close at hand. That is what is meant by proximity, closeness. And the last one, the summary question. So we did something like this in the first semester as well. The 3 correct answer options are first one, fourth one, and fifth one. Others are wrong. Number 1, number 4, and number 5. Number 2 is correct because the word meta cities is wrong. It has to be mega cities. Mega and meta are two different prefixes. Third one is wrong because social inequality in cities is decreasing. That's all. That's wrong. Social inequality is increasing. නගර ලොකු වුණාට නගර දියුණු වුණාට සමාජ විෂමතාවය නැති වෙන්නේ නෑ. නගරේ දියුණු වෙන අය දියුණු වෙනවා, නැති අය හැමම දුප්පත් අය එහෙමම තමයි. Last one is wrong because there is less economic stability in cities. That is wrong. There's something positive about cities overall. Cities, this is regarding big cities. Economy in cities are stable. So that's what overall like these sociologists and anthropologists say. Okay, those are the answers. Right. So with that, we can end this lesson. And also in the new lesson, there are some other information about these main ideas and supporting details. You can read through them at home. So they are important for your summarizing skills as well. We'll discuss that the next time we meet. Before we end,